Boom. Eddie G TV. We're back. We got a different format. It's going to be more like an interview slash podcast show. This is going to be different than what I've done before. But we're going to name this episode 1, even though there's been a bunch of Eddie G TVs. But yeah, we're going to get this in. I got a good friend of mine with me, Jay Smith.
What's happening?
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Some things you've done.
I made a few short films. They're put in festivals, won some awards. Do a lot of script writing, and got a family and stuff on the side that takes up most of my time. But yeah, I'm trying to work on a variety show right now, writing a video game, and writing is my favorite thing to do. So.
Yeah, so you're, I know my computer's acting up. I know you've been doing short films for a long time. We first met back in, I think, 2010 when we did the Deadly Habits video.
Yeah.
He shot my Deadly Habits video and old. But at that time, I felt like that video was like way ahead of like the rest of the videos that I had done, because I think all the other videos that I had done before that were all just me and Dole just walking around with the camera, shooting each other's videos.
We try to give him more story.
Like we were just like walking around like, oh, let's go shoot over here and try this, and some of those videos were pretty cool. But like I think when that video came out, it made me realize like, oh, I need to have my videos step up.
Yeah, you can even do more.
I definitely needed my videos to step up after that. So yeah, thank you for that. Like, fucking give me motivation to get into that. So like,
Good.
yeah, like you said, you do a lot of writing. So I want to know, like when you're like, let's say you're writing a short film, do you write your story and then make it like a movie, or do you write as if this is a movie from scratch, like from jump?
I plot my ideas. I come up, the idea will be born, or I may have a character that goes through something that I want to turn into a story. But I'll start writing down point form notes and start formulating my ideas, and then once I've got a good opening and not necessarily ending, but can have an ending too. As long as I get a good opening, I'll start writing from there and write it as a script, and it'd be kind of rough, then go through it and rework it and rewrite it and show a few people and get some notes.
So you start from the beginning. I've heard some people say that they write these starting from the end, like they kind of know how the movie wants.
Yeah,
to end,
there's definitely been times when I've had a great ending.
You do both?
Yeah.
You started with either one?
Like just sometimes the story just is born, right? Like you get a great idea for ending, or you get a great idea for a character's journey, or you have a great opening, right? But to me, a great opening and a great ending are both just as important, right? You got to pull the audience in right away, and you want to leave them with a good,
So you said like even sometimes you start with just a character in mind.
Yeah.
With just like just one character, or do you have like sometimes multiple characters? That, like,
it could be multiple characters. It could be a duo of guys. I mean, I watched the Punisher series on Netflix, and it drew me into a short film that I started writing because it made me think of a character similar to that put them in a different experience or whatever. But a lot of times it's from watching great movies that'll actually get me inspired to write a film, right? It's kind of something's born off that, or I'll see something on the news. I'm like, that needs to be put in a form, film that, right?
So what makes a great movie?
A script. A great script is obviously important, but a combination of a great script and great actors. Even if the camera work is failing or some of the effects don't work, if you have, a good script and good actors, I feel like, you've told a good story, people are still going to come away with something. Obviously, it helps if, everybody else is, performing well. You got good camera work, you got
good producer, good director.
Right. And it's all about finding those people that are going to contribute to that film and collaboratively put that art together, right?
So, like, let's say you want to do a short film the right way. You want to have it, some of the to match up with some of the best short films out there. How many people do you think you need in total to do a great short film?
I mean, a great short film, you're talking like 50 people, but you can get away with shooting a short film with 10 people that are dedicated to the project, and
10 people that really know what they're doing.
Right,
know
what they're doing, are willing to do more than one role. But realistically, if you had a good budget and stuff,
and that's including actors and behind the scene people.
Right, you got people that are doing post production too. You got your editors and your people that are adding music and graphic design and all the other people are going to bring on board too. So you're figuring, you might have another 10 to 20 people post production that might be adding things to it. So 50 seems to be it's not a magic number, but realistically, if you could you get 50 people involved. Short films I worked on, have 10 to 15 seems to be the norm, right? but you have people that are trying to break into the industry and trying to make a name for themselves. So you're willing to do more than one job or whatnot, right?
So let's say like the bare minimum of like people. Like let's say you have a low budget and you just have an idea with a couple of people. What like you need.
Like I'm not including actors. So say you need about 10 people behind the scenes.
Okay.
Right, and I'm not including the actors. And actually depends on. And actors are
from as low as 10 to 50.
Right, and actors are easier to find because a lot of people are.
A lot of people want to do that.
Right.
A lot of people want to do that side of
that's,
the.
That's the biggest draw to film.
They want to be in front of the camera, and
here's an opportunity for them to showcase their work and maybe get noticed, right? So.
Same thing with all these things. Like there's more rappers than engineers. Like.
Right, because more people it's a quicker pickup, and it's easier to get a role as an actor than it is to. Not easier to get a role as an actor. I don't want to say that, but there's I feel like there's more opportunity, right, as an actor to go on audition for roles. You may not get the roles, but.
Okay, so here's the game that I got lined up. Got a little game lined up. So in this sack right here, I got 10 pieces of paper.
Okay.
There's written on them is 5 actors and 5 actresses.
Yeah.
Now I want you to pull out 2, and say if you wanted one of them to be the star of one of the movies you're doing. Okay. You have to pick one. You have to pick one of the 2. So I say grab 2 out of there. A little something different, play a little some scenarios that might pop up. You got 2 there?
Yeah. Does it have to be both sexes or just 2 different ones?
Just whichever ones come out.
Okay.
Who'd you rather have star?
Well, that's a hard one too. Robert De Niro and Denzel Washington.
Ooh.
Man, I have to go with De Niro because he works for Scorsese and Scorsese makes classics, but a lot of respect for Denzel Washington.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
I gotta go with De Niro.
I'm gonna go 3 rounds.
All right.
So I'll take those.
Keep them out, yeah.
And then
pick 2 more, or just pick
2 more. Yeah. So we got Robert De Niro. That's a good one. Robert De Niro and Denzel Washington.
I know that's tough, man.
That's a tough one.
All right. Here you go. Let's see what you got here. DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio. And Jamie Foxx. They both times. I mean, these are both good actors, man. And they both worked with Tarantino too, so I mean, I can't even separate them that way, right? I honestly can't choose because DiCaprio's been around for a long time. I watched Growing Pains when I was a kid. Jamie Foxx is in Living Color.
Hard one.
Well, I'm gonna pick Jamie Foxx just because if I had De Niro and Fox together, I'm not sure. I don't think they've worked together. It's been kind of interesting.
Okay.
Combination having those 2 to work together.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Pretty sure DiCaprio and De Niro have done something. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't saying like that'd be a separate movie or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I still have to. Out of all those, though, I still have to go with De Niro. De Niro's.
Yeah. Okay. One more round. We have to get an actress. We have to get an actress in there.
Like real Hollywood, they're left out. What is it?
Like a real Hollywood, got it. I did put 5 and 5.
All right.
So there has
to be one now. Right?
Yeah.
Then we get the other guy. That'd be hilarious. Okay, Julia Roberts. Who's this? Meryl Streep. This one's easier. I've liked more Roberts movies. So.
Yeah.
Pretty Woman back in the day.
Go Julia Roberts.
Brockovich.
Nice.
Yeah, I go with Roberts.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I'd play a little game. See
that's cool.
what would come up. So yeah, like me and you have gone to 2 film festivals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to 2. How many you been to?
Maybe about 10. I might to roughly guess. About 10. I haven't been to festivals in a while. That's mostly stuff around here, TIFF, festivals in Hamilton, the Hamilton Film Festival.
I like the one we went to. We went to the one in Toronto, and then we went to the one in Hamilton. I like the one in Toronto better.
Yeah,
it was
the one
a nice
in
one.
Toronto's nice, yeah.
That was the Toronto Shorts
festival.
Yeah,
he runs a good little program there.
I thought there was some really good ones there, like too. Like, I remember we walking in and like I just see the one girl. I was like, look at that girl over there. Like, she's fucking like super hot.
Yeah.
And then like fucking, they're starting the films up, and they're like, everybody stand up and talk about their film, and then she's like, yeah, I started it, wrote it, directed it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was a good showing. I went to the Toronto Film Festival one time and with a couple people, and there was like one good short out of 7.
Oh
right?
shit!
We went. There was like a couple that were, but most of them were.
How many was there? 7 or 8?
Yeah, about 7 or 8. Usually fit about 7.
I think
7 or 8, sort of in an hour and a half block.
There were some good ones in there though. I think there was at least 5. 5 of them were pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
In that time.
Yeah, and they were diverse too. And there was some similarities between them. The texting on the phone and certain things, but
honestly,
they
like
were different enough.
listening to people talk like afterwards and like hearing them say like about it gave me like huge confidence. I'm like, yo, I'm creative just like these people, like just in a different on a different stage. But like, it gave me like I was like, oh, I can relate to that, and I can. I definitely want to get into that.
Especially in film too. It's a great experience having all the different artists come together and collaborate to create one piece of work, right?
Okay, so what is the role of a director? Like,
a director to me really has 2 main roles, camera placement and actors, right? Like, the director is going to decide, not necessarily camera placement, but he's involved in the camera. What kind of shot we want? How do we want the framing? The cinematographer will, or director of photography, he will go and maybe figure out a better place to put the camera and make it look nicer. Sometimes the director can do it himself, but yeah. So the director is working with the cinematographer, figuring out the best place for the camera for the shot, and then working with the actors to get the best performance and to help them understand what the character should be feeling at that moment in the script. And,
right.
And so when I work with my buddy Matt,
if he doesn't do well, like he stops it and he says, "Hey, let's shoot."
Right.
Instead, do this.
When we say cut, we'll go. See, the thing I like working with Matt is that we co-direct, and I focus more on the camera, planning the shots beforehand, what we need to do, and I'll do the camera work or whatnot, or have someone help me with the camera, and then he'll focus on the actors. But we'll both talk to each other about things too. You can see what shots I'm going to next, and I'd make sure that if there's anything I'm going to add to the actor's performance. But him coming from an actor background and me more from a filmmaking background,
makes sense for you to do that side, right? And him to do it. It makes sense,
yeah. And then it takes a lot of the
so you guys
pressure off focus on both. You can
co-direct, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And I like directing for myself too, but it is freeing to have
someone
else helping you too.
So what is the role of the producer?
The producer is kind of the one that he's almost like the general manager of your plant or whatever.
Okay, yeah, like make sure like
all the right people are hired.
He makes all the phone calls. He makes.
I mean, he'll hire someone to do those phone calls, but he's the one that makes
sure
he
hires somebody to do it. But
he hires the right person to make the phone calls, the right person to direct the script, the right person to. He may. There's different kinds of producers. Some are putting money in and whatnot, or helping out in other ways. But the main producer, the movie wins Best Picture. The main producer is going to accept the award because it's kind of like starting a business. Like each movie is almost like your own business. He started that. So
he went and got the director, the actors,
right. He went and
got all the people set up.
He either got them directly or hired the people to help get them. Let's hire the best casting director because they know. They'll get me the right actors or whatever, right? Put the right people in the right positions, just like we would at our warehouse, right? Like, you would hope that person's going to pick the right people for each position, but
right.
And that's when the good movies come out too, right? When everybody feels like a cohesive unit.
Definitely. So, what do you think is your favorite movie of 2018 so far?
I haven't watched a lot of new movies in 2018. I saw the new Avengers movie, so obviously the new Avengers movie is, it was a sweet deal, but. My biggest thing now is that I don't watch a lot of new films. I saw Daddy's Home 2 and sort of newer films or whatever, but I still watch a lot of the classic films that I grew up on, Boys in the Hood and Dazed and Confused and Pulp Fiction, Pump Up the Volume. And, going back to there's just something about the 90s.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. Yeah, the 90s, man.
And I also feel like, too, with, having my family and stuff, too, and, I'll more watch something that comes out on Netflix or pop on an old movie.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the Emmys? Because, like, me as, like, somebody in the music, like, a lot of people know that, like, a lot of hip-hop people don't feel the Grammys gets it right. You as a movie guy, do you think the Emmys gets it right or no?
See, I've never. To me, I almost felt like the Golden Globe Awards got it.
Golden Globes got it
right because the biggest difference with my biggest problem with the Academy Awards is they don't honor the comedies and stuff like that the way they should. Like, to me, a comedic actor.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that too. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times going to get beat out by the serious actor, right? But comedy is, like.
Yeah.
We need that. We comedy heals the soul.
My
right?
favorite movies.
Right. So it's to me, it's like the Golden Globes. They.
I would say there's more. If I look at like,
award.
if we're gonna go my top 10 movies, which I'm not gonna get into because like I don't super thinking, but probably like, I'd say at least six of them probably be comedies.
Yeah, exactly right. Like because they make you feel good and it's a place to go to and escape from reality and right.
Definitely.
And I feel like as an actor, I mean, everybody talks about how hard it is for a serious actor to cry and do all this other stuff, which obviously give them respect. But for a comedian to seem funny after take after take after take, and keep that level of energy, right?
Like even doing that, like it's harder to like have a stay funnier for a whole movie than it is even do like your stand up. Like sometimes a lot of stand ups can make you laugh the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like it's if you have a movie that makes you laugh all the way through, it's like they put in fucking crazy work on that. And
because a stand-up comedian can figure out how to work the audience, right? The movie's stuck in its place. You got to hope that you hit them right. Like, I remember watching like the behind-the-scenes stuff with Friday, right? And like when they sat down, the director and a couple guys sat down and watched it, they like, oh my god, this movie's horrible. And then they showed it to the audience. People were just laughing, right? So you never know what like. Stepping away from it and everybody's got a different sense of humor, but you never know what's going to hit. And I feel like comedy is one of those things where it's hit and miss, but you need it. We all need our comedy.
Almost like I haven't made too many beats in my time, but like I have made some beats, and like sometimes I'm like a couple things. I'm like, oh, that sounds alright. I'll just save it and just like close it and like I'll come back to it later and be like. Either I would be like, no, that's trash. The part that I added, I'm like, no, or I'm like, oh, this is fucking amazing.
Right.
Yeah, like,
it's always good to come back.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's almost like you get burned out. Like it's the same thing when I'm working on a script. Sometimes when I come back at the end, I kind of weaned off a bit, right? But there's certain things that didn't seem to work that you can now make work. It's just nice to go back in with a fresh start.
Oh, for sure. So you're saying the Golden Globes gets more right than the Emmys, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this debate.
All right, here comes some hip hop debate.
The M album.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Kamikaze?
I love Kamikaze. I feel like it brings me back to, the Eminem's first 3 albums that I love and grew up with, and I feel like Cypress Hill did the same thing. They both went back to, how they started out and kind of gave us something that they haven't done for a while. Revival, I get it. Revival wasn't the greatest. There was a couple okay songs in there, but it was him doing his thing, and he told us not afraid. He's not Slim Shady anymore, right? So people that were surprised that he's making that kind of album, he's listen to his music. He told you that's what he's doing. He killed Shady, but I feel like he got the pressure. He brought Shady back out. He did a good job.
I almost felt like Kamikaze was like if you look at like the Slim Shady LP and then the Marshall Mathers LP, like I find it was more of the Marshall to me.
Yeah. I feel it was more
the Kamikaze.
I feel it was more similar to his third album. Like I would compare it more to his third album, where I feel like his second album, the original Marshall Mathers album, he was at his angriest. I feel like this one is like, he's not completely angry.
Okay, yeah,
say, right? Like,
yeah. But I would say, but he's not as like the first album, like the Slim Shady LP.
Yeah.
Is like more the joking around kind of like that's my favorite M.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. That's definitely my favorite M too. The more joking, not as. Yeah. I prefer the joking Eminem to the violent Eminem. I guess.
But like I found like after a certain point, like I get everybody says Eminem like technical thing.
Yeah. Not just technical though. I feel like he beats everybody in like 50 categories. You know what I mean? Like not everybody, but he's in like.
I wouldn't say 50 categories.
You could put up like 50 categories, and Eminem would probably fall in every category, in the top 10 in every single category almost. Because he's got content. He's got commercial success. He's got club anthems. He's got banger songs. He's got
his career.
He does everything right. Like
over his career.
And I've also never seen like I love music, and I've never seen like an artist in his 40s come up with something that's. I've been listening to his album for over a month. I've never had an artist in their 40s do this to me. So I feel like, you know, it's personal taste or whatnot, but to me, I'm glad that, like, if Slick Rick was still doing this, he's just making little appearances. But I'm glad Eminem's coming out and like still giving me new shit at this age. And then for someone like Joe Budden, who I think is a big moron, to be like, oh, content, give me a fucking break. Eminem's got tons of content. He's a storyteller. You know what I mean? It's almost like Budden jealous because Eminem can do every kind of style.
Here's where I want to come in, because like, yeah, like Eminem like early content, like I was like, yo, that shit's dope. But like now, I feel like a lot of it was
it's better than Budden, who's had no content, right? Like he's had pump up the jam. Like I feel like Budden shouldn't even be in a conversation when it comes to like hip hop greats and shit, right? And you know he's doing this thing with his podcast and shit now, but I just feel like
I think he's a great media guy.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, but he's still.
But like going back with the I feel like it's rappity rap.
Mm-hmm. Which I love. I mean, I love wordplay. I mean,
no, like
some of the best rappers,
Rakim.
Like to say that too is like then you're dissing Rakim and Big Al and B.I.G. and all these guys who are rappity rappers. I mean, that's.
But they weren't all that though.
No, and neither is Eminem. Eminem has so many, like Mockingbird is in a rappity rap song. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm just trying to like say like this new album. When I look at this new album.
But Stepping Stone, like you said, is your favorite.
Stepping Stone is my.
That's not a rappity rap. Right?
Is my favorite song.
Normal is not a rappity rap song. Venom is not a rappity rap song. The Good Guy and like the last 3 songs aren't even my favorite songs, but they're not rappity rap songs. Yeah, there's a lot of rappity rap songs, but that's what he does. Like that's his. You know that is to me his signature, right? He's the best wordsmith in hip hop. I feel like he's the best wordsmith in hip hop. Now,
I would just agree with that because like I don't know, like yeah, first Eminem like I'm not hating on Eminem. Like I look at like Rock Bottom as like one of my favorite songs in hip hop.
Yeah, and I don't expect my legends to be like forever, great, right?
But I think like I wasn't really big on like I just like the passion. He doesn't have the same. It didn't have the same passion to me. It had like a
he's a 46-year-old passion. I get it. Like he's
the whole album had like a bitter vibe to me, which I didn't like. And
I think that's part of the reason I liked it. Like that's what drove it to me is that he's finally saying fuck this. I'm laying out on the line. You want to come at me? I have the right too. Like he's an artist.
Yeah.
Good for him for coming back at all these people, right? Like you should do that. You have a voice. You have it's just like people get on Kaepernick. He has a voice. You're out there. Use it. Use it for what so Kaepernick uses it for his shit. Eminem's using his voice to come back at these people that are attacking him. You know what I mean?
It's almost for the same things that we don't like it that we do like it because like, yeah, I didn't like the bitter vibe.
Right. But that's like it's like in comedy, right? Like I hated Old School. I hated Wedding Crashers, but those movies did huge, right? So it's like it's just a different taste. Eminem's album, did well. Lots of people, well received by lots of people, and some people hate it, right? It's just, but it's just. As you get older, you realize that like everybody has different styles and different tastes, and just because someone doesn't like something you like doesn't mean it's garbage or not. Too,
yeah, right? I wonder what like the old M would have been listening to this album, like you're bitter about these things, like.
Yeah, I think the old album because Eminem always said he was a pop star more than a rapper. Really, like he loved Britney Spears. He was all about being a pop star. Tried to be a positive rapper when he first came out. He wasn't using curse words and being that until he figured that's what's going to set him off, and he became a shock rapper, which gave him his career, right? So I mean, to me, he's just going back to the way he started. Before we really knew him, when we knew him, he was this crazy shock rapper, and now he's going back to what he did with Infinite. You know what I mean? Like in Infinite, he was more of a he
was like sound like Nas or AZ or
right,
trying to sound like that kind of style.
But to me, like I feel like Eminem gets flack because he's white and also because he's been rapping for a long time. Just like Jay-Z might get flack from some people, but I appreciate Jay-Z and Eminem and even Nas. His album might not been the greatest, but still coming out and trying to give us new content and trying to. You're a grown man. Like that's why I love the Beastie Boys. The Beastie Boys are my favorite band because they went from Beastie Boys to Beastie Men. They went from doing what hip hop does, which is misogynistic lyrics and violence and shit, and they're singing like that, to growing up and understanding you should treat women better and you should be a better person,
Yeah.
right? And that's my biggest beef with hip hop. I love hip hop; it's my favorite music of all time.
Well, like,
But
even, like
they've gotta grow.
Even like a lot of the big guys have changed that. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the new generation is pushing. That's probably the best thing you can say about the newer generation is they're pushing more, more like less violent type of material. They're it's not.
yes, it is less violent, but it's more
But
more fiend content.
Well, there's definitely more fiend content.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guys before them pushed the drugs, and now they're using them. So I mean, you could say that argument too, right? You could be like, it's all about drug push, and now it's all about drug using. It's like it like slid into.
But like, I don't look at those as like when like the new generation. I've heard that in a lot of interviews, and they say that. But drug dealing, a lot of these guys grew up in like these areas that like they couldn't get regular jobs, and like that was a means of making money of like how to survive, like
right, which makes
like
sense.
if they didn't sell the drugs, like.
And now you're in a generation of, well, what do you do next? So you're bored, so you do drugs and try to think of crazy shit. I mean, I totally understand why the youth go to the drugs, but is it better? But
I don't look at that as like
I don't look at it as a bad thing. I mean, a lot of great music is done on drugs. I mean, Jimi Hendrix fucking put out great music, and tell me he wasn't like stoned as hell, right? Like, so I mean, but it depends. Some people can't function on drugs. People get kicked out of bands because they just can't fucking perform when they're high.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, but I think the hardest thing with the new generation now is like finding that voice, right? Because hip hop has been around long enough that so much has been done, right? So,
well, that's one thing.
And there's almost like a backlash against.
I wish I could hear.
Like, don't you feel there's almost a backlash against like Eminem and B.I.G. and Big Al and all these guys that were great with words, whereas like it's trying to be more simple and like let's create our own voice that it doesn't have to be so complex and can be simple and catchy and.
Well, things go around like in cycles, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like I think
even the '90s music we listened to with rock.
Like when this simplistic, melody kind of driven, thing that's going on right now. The next generation of kids is gonna get sick of that. And they're gonna be like, oh, I want to say something like.
Yeah, they're gonna be more complex and maybe have more to say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I kind of feel like rock sort of went through that where the '70s there was a lot to say. Right, and then the '80s was all like hairband, and just party shit, and then the '90s came out. We gotta talk more about shit. So the alt rock bands were saying more, right?
Exactly. Things go back around and shit like that, and So like I know Slick Rick's one of your favorites. So why is Slick Rick one of your favorites?
He was when I was I was born in '77, right? So
yeah,
for me,
Slick Rick came out when?
He came out around 80.
Was he just 76? Before like the
84, 86 was when I started noticing hip hop, and that were Beastie Boys and Run DMC and Slick Rick, and I didn't, I was too young to really catch on to Grandmaster Flash. And
I remember in the one book I have, it has what were the biggest songs of the year, and Lottie Dottie was 85.
85, right, and then Children's Story was probably like 86 or something. To me, it was I gravitated towards hip hop because
I felt like he was like just before. Like the Kane and the Rakim.
Yeah.
They were like 88, I think, right?
I think EPMD and all, and I think those guys were, and NWA.
We're all like 88,
just 80, a little bit 87. After. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like Slick Rick was part of the when it started became mainstream, like Cool J, Run DMC, Slick Rick.
Yeah.
When hip hop started stepping into the mainstream, right? And Def Jam was like on top of everything. But it was the storytelling. That's what draws me to Eminem. That's what drew me to Slick Rick. That's what I like when someone you can sit back and listen to a story being told, right? And just like the Dave East song we're listening to, like to me it is you're painting a picture for me, and it's set to music, and it's
exactly.
Great. And not that I don't like any other kind of hip hop, but it's just that's always what I gravitate.
Oh, for sure, that's
But I also get it. I also like when people are really tricky with their words and shit, and you listen to something 3 or 4 times, and you're like. You just realize they said something you never caught before. The same way when I watch Pulp Fiction, right? And I watch Pulp Fiction again and again.
Definitely, I love that. Like, there's like songs that like that came out like when I was younger, and I bought the CD, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome." I knew all the words to it, and then like I hear it later on in life, and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
I known all these words all this time, and now like I hear this album, and like I'm like, that's what he was saying.
That's why I was with Slick Rick. Is like,
You know, like, oh, okay.
She's got
like-
crabs with spears and Indian drums, right? And I'm only like, I'm like 8 years old. How's that? And then, you get older and listen to it.
It sounds cool when you're a kid. You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you're like,
You know.
Mom and Dad had no idea.
But yeah, I've seen this on the Ice-T documentary. He was talking with Rakim. And they're talking about Slick Rick, and Rakim goes, "Yo," when Slick Rick told a story, he's like, and the guy's running through the park, you could smell the grass.
Right?
Like, I was like, yeah, that's L. Like,
And he changes up his voice too. That's one thing I like
Yeah.
about too. He changed up his voice in the song. Right?
Slick Rick probably has top five voices of hip hop voices.
Yeah, and I feel like he's probably he's probably the top 5 influences in like the '90s hip hop artists we listen to. Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane. I feel like he because there's so many people you listen to that not.
I keep on hearing like a lot of people always go back to Cool G Rap.
Cool G Rap gets a.
Cool G Rap is like I don't even think he was.
He didn't.
I could be wrong. I don't think he was as big as like Rakim and like
wasn't,
Kane at that time.
Me growing up in that
But
time,
then
Cool G Rap was not exactly. He was
when
not
you
at the
listen
same
to
level.
like
But
when you listen to Nas, when you listen to like all of the Wu Tang,
yeah, they
you
always
listen
go
to like
back
Pun, and they're all like, "Yo, I like all these guys," but like they're like, "Yo, Cool G Rap was like,
yeah. I know. I noticed that in interviews too. They're always going back to Cool G Rap.
yeah."
Cool G Rap, Slick Rick, and of course Big Daddy
Okay.
Kane, right?
So we're coming up close to the end, but like yeah. So you filmed on my last season of cooking show. How were those meals?
They're good. I only ended up in the hospital once.
Yeah.
No, they were good. Interesting. Interesting, but
You kind of look at me sometimes like, what the fuck's he doing?
I had faith. I had faith after a while they're gonna taste alright. So
Yeah. What were your you top two?
the pizza was definitely good. I have to say. Actually, I'd put the stuffed peppers because I'm not the kind of person that eats peppers, but
Yeah, you
I
said that.
enjoyed them, right?
Yeah,
It's
you
like-
said you didn't really enjoy that.
so I put that one there too, just because
Stuffed peppers in the
like,
pizza.
me actually go into that again. Yeah, but the pizza was good too.
Nice.
What about you? What were your 2 favorites?
I would say the deep fried deviled eggs,
Yeah, those are pretty decent.
and then the mac and cheese. I'm a huge mac and cheese person. Like
Yeah.
this, this is a mac and cheese
Staple.
baby. Like,
You got one in there. You got a
mac
12
and
pack
cheese
in there?
baby. Okay, so yeah, this has been good. Eddie G TV,
Yeah.
Jay Smith. Any last things to say to the people before we wrap this up, or what?
Just hopefully I get some things coming out soon and maybe get some of y'all involved in and watching. Y'all know how to hit up Eddie G if you're looking in getting involved in extra work or you do some acting or whatever or behind the scenes stuff in film. Just hit Eddie G up
And I'm gonna be in front of the camera sometime soon, and behind the
Yeah.
camera.
and be working with me.
Getting my my acting on. I might like fucking gain like 300 pounds, play a sumo,
Yeah. Or he might lose
or
some
lose
weight and become
fucking.
like a professional fighter. You never know.
You never know.
See where it goes.
I won't shave the beard though. You won't.
No, that's something I don't do. I try to once.
You don't want me on camera in front, like without this beard. It just looks weird.
Take us back like 10, 15 years. Baby face.
Maybe if I want to play like a high school role or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, all right. So this is Eddie G TV, and we out.